So, should I read the notice?
In the turquoise.
Pursuant to the public health order dated May 14th, 2021, limiting public gatherings in the state, the following meeting attendance capacity rules apply. Red level, very high risk. The meeting will not physically be open to the public. Members of the public may attend and listen to the meeting via Facebook. Yellow level, high risk. The meeting is limited to 10 members of the public, inclusive of public officials and employees. Admission will be on the first come, first served basis. All other members of the public may attend and listen to the meeting via Facebook. Green level, medium risk. The meeting is limited to 20 members of the public, inclusive of public officials and employees. Admission will be on first come, first served basis. All other members of the public may attend and listen to the meeting via Facebook. Turquoise level, low risk. The meeting will be open to the public. Members of the public may also attend and listen to the meeting via Facebook. All other public health order, COVID-19 requirements and fire marshal capacity limits apply. All members of the public will be able to attend and listen to the meeting via Facebook live at the following link. So we'll call to order this meeting. We'll do roll call. Mr. Torres, are you here?
Present.
Kathy Gonzalez, are you here? And she's not here. And I myself am here. Paul Ludy. Could I entertain a motion to approve the agenda?
Yes, so moved.
I second that. The minutes from February 12th. Oh,
Yes.
so we do have a quorum. There are 3 committee members and
2 are present.
2 are present. So did you take the minutes? So,
I got mine right here.
so, Danny, here are the minutes. Would you like to make a motion?
Yes, I make a motion that we approve the minutes from February 12th, 2021 Advisory Investment Committee meeting.
And I'll second that motion. On to reports. So I created a PowerPoint this go round. Let me get back to the beginning here. And I was just going to go over a few things. Johnny, thanks for getting me the rates. And just to go over a few things. First, we so these are our FY21 bond reserve requirements within our investments. You can see how the 3 ways for the bonds, the reserve requirements calculated. Right now, those general fund and road fund reserves are based on the current approved budget with the state. Those fluctuate as we change, as we do budget adjustments or do increases to our expenditures. So that's why those fluctuate. And those are mandatory reserves. Here we have our 2014 A bond amortization schedule. And this is how we calculated those reserves. These are our 2014 bond amortization schedule. And if I go too fast, anybody just let me know. Here's the 2014 bond amortization schedule. And you can see where we're at and how those payments were created. These are our general fund reserves and our road department reserves that are required by the state on this DFA sheet. It's under that reserves column, and that's where I got that information. These are our balance sheet assets. So here's our investments as of today. So in LGIP, we have almost $4.8 million. The 3288 We had closed out that CD, so that's gonna be cleaned up. The next balance sheet is just residual, and there's our two TBK bank CDs at the bottom. The very bottom one, the treasurer's tax operating account, that shouldn't have been highlighted, but that's a.
We need to discuss it anyway because.
We will need to. So as you can see on the right-hand side, we have our total investments, which total $5,268,672.19. Our required reserves are the $3,161,526.35. That leaves us with $2,107,145.84 in current unassigned investments. This is the liabilities and equity portion of the balance sheet. So our liabilities and equity, when those add up, they equal assets. So we're going to have to create some recommendations on the HVAC. As you can see,
We have the money.
well, we have the money, and I'm going to go into that. We need to invest $1.6 million from the general fund to cover a loan. Well, my recommendation is to do a loan. Yeah, so let's go into the HVAC. Let's do this. Before we get into that little note there, the county building's HVAC system has gone kaput. Stop leak was put into the system, and so it's all contaminated, and now we're going to have to zone it out and change everything up. It's going to cost $1.6 million. So we need to find out, we need to discuss, are we going to just pay for this? We have the cash, we can do it. Or should we possibly get an NMFA loan for $1.6 million? I talked to Ron Cruz at NMFA. We can get a loan, we qualify for a 0% loan for $1.6 million.
So we can hold on to the 1.6 and get
For
interest
over
while
10
paying
years.
it.
Yeah, we could get a 10-year loan.
Yep.
Be $160,000. There would be also, we're requesting a call option to where we could pay it off anytime we wanted still, and we
Right.
wouldn't have any penalty. So it does have to, yeah, Kate?
I just wanted to explain why we're doing this. This is something that you can do when you are managing your funds and you know the amounts that you have. So now we can look at options, so we don't just have to react and purchase it. We can get the investment committee to look at the options. So we're being more, we're being due diligent, but we're also thinking about what's best for the county and the funds that we have. So go ahead. I just want to make sure.
Yeah, so that's one of the discussions we were going to talk about. Should we just pay up front? Well, if we can get a loan, for my opinion, if we can take 1.6 million, and I'll go over our current cash analysis here in a second, but we have 1.6 million. What if we throw that into an investment, into the LGIP, and we'll go over rates again as well to make a decision. But I'm thinking if we throw 1.6 of our general fund money into the
There's no risk
LGIP,
in losing money.
just to hold it there, that's our reserve. We'll actually be earning interest over 10 years, and the money to pay it off will always be there. We can always pull it out, it's same as cash, and pay the thing off if Commissioner so elect. But in the meantime, instead of giving them the full 1.6 million, we can be earning interest on that. And if it's 10 years, and we'll go over the rates as well, and we can see the way they dip and stuff here a little sooner. But instead of paying it off, I think we should do a loan. on that.
What's the percentage right now? Is it
So,
zero?
so,
LGIP,
Yeah,
of
is it
interest.
one? Yeah, what's the interest?
oh,
Where we at on-
okay. I'm
'cause
gonna
it'll-
get into that
Like you
here.
said, it dropped from
Oh,
already,
yes.
and I
It might
see
go
it.
up, you got
And,
10
yeah,
years.
we got 10 years.
We got
So
10 years.
if we go,
So
even like you said, if we do the whole 10 years,
you're gonna
like
learn a
you
lot of
said,
interest.
yeah,
but
but what, you know, what's
offset
the purpose
cost.
of, you know, to pay it off early or anything, if that's
Yeah.
where we're at
Right.
zero?
Well, that lets us retain cash for cash, you know,
But if commissioners come into there and say, okay, now did something happen and paid out where we said we want to pay it off right now, the 1.6?
you can do it.
We still have, and we'll still be strong?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'll take payments, and like I said, I like what you,
I do too.
what you said, how let's get a loan and we can go 7 years. So what, either way, but, yeah, like you said, we're not losing nothing at all, ever, but, and we'll stay strong if the commissioners wish to approve and say, I want you guys to pay this off.
Yeah.
So
All right.
let's look at the numbers. So you
Yeah. So, and
got good news and
why?
bad news.
Yeah. So we can look at our pooled cash report right here. This is where we currently stand as of today. We've got $2,039,545 in operating cash in our general fund. Plus, during the audit, we were able to discover that about $2.8 million from the LGIP was when we liquidated the Cedars account, it was put into the tax operating account, but then we spent from the main operating account to invest into LGIP. So money was removed from the
It
wrong.
was not.
account.
Yes,
put into
how
the
it-
general
yeah.
fund.
So by discovering that, we need to move the 2.8 and reimburse the general fund by that amount, or the main operating account from the treasurer's operating account. And that'll clean up the books, that'll bolster our general fund money, because it shouldn't have come out of there at that time. We're also receiving $2.1 million from PILT in June. We're also have about 1.6 million we'll be transferring from our bond funds, because we generate so much GRT in those. We've got our bond payments coming up, I believe,
This
June
week.
1st. Friday. And Johnny's on top of that with the treasurer's office, and those bond payments will be made. But we're gonna, because we didn't transfer money out because
Yeah.
of COVID last year, we got a pretty good little savings in there.
But now
And
we're
every
gonna
year-
transfer a nice chunk of it too.
Yeah, 1.6
Yeah.
million. I'm projecting we're gonna start out the year over $8 million. So we've gone, that's great news. I mean, what, 3 years ago, we were at 180,000,
Yeah.
and then
you
to
guys do real
1.6 balance, and then
Oh, yeah.
3 million, and then now up to $8 million. So it's,
What are we spending out of the general fund just yearly now that we're stronger? Is this our first time basically where we're gonna, because we didn't have, like you said, we went from here to there, we're on a different playing level where things can get done here or there,
Yeah.
let's see, you know what I mean?
well, give me 1 sec. Let me, because I've got the files with me. Let me see if, let me go into the LGIP.
Yeah.
And then
let's see where-
I'll get that information after this. But here you go. We got the rates, the current balances in LGIP and our investments, the current rates and the maturity dates.
Well, they're getting
and-
a little bit, not much. So.
Yeah, the graph you can see, that's the years of the percentage rates for the LGIP,
Yeah.
starting all the way back in September 2018. They went higher, and then look, you can see the
Yeah,
straight line. We got a
yeah.
downward trend when that COVID hit, and it's been steady. They follow the Fed rates, and you can see the Fed rates are a little higher than the LGIP, but we're not at zero, and they're still better
Yeah, we're
than
not at zero.
they're still better than all of the other opportunities out there. As of today, let me get the highlighter pen here so you guys
What
can
do
see.
we figure that you?
Right now,
you know,
you've
just
got-
even, I mean, even with our investments, what do you do you look at 6 months to a year before growing where interest rates and everything will start coming back? Are you looking at a whole year?
They follow the Fed rates.
Yeah, I'd say 6 months.
Yeah, we gotta somewhat come up with strategy and have some kind of knowledge, but I don't see,
But I think this is such a new thing, I mean, we've never had a pandemic that is,
and it might shoot up in
We
6
don't-
months and see,
don't
it's
know.
something we don't know, but now if we're making investments, we still gotta have somewhat of.
Well, with this, the good thing is if we lock into a CD now, we're locked into a low rate,
Yeah,
right,
we
Tommy?
don't wanna do that.
See, I don't wanna go that route either.
The LGIP is a very healthy risk, it's very low, I mean, you either
They
make money or
invest
it
in-
stays the same. You don't.
Yeah, it's a safe investment,
Mhm.
yes, I agree.
It meets the requirements,
Of the law.
and as of right now, too.
Do we have any bonds that were maturing from the last time or anything
No.
that we're gonna?
No.
So I brought this up though because we'd also we need to make a recommendation on how to pay to this for the governing
Yeah.
body.
And the reason why we need to make that decision is because once we met with the company that's really working with us on this, it's going to take once we approve that amount that they work on, it's gonna take up to 6 months to get it fixed. So with that, we
Come
go
winter.
for summer, right?
Yeah, you lose the
And so
summer.
we're gonna get very hot, but they have, if we get it going, they wanna move on it, like, today. They wanna order the stuff and then get it going. So I'm just glad that you guys have an opportunity to look at the options rather than, yes, it's great, we can pay it out right now.
Yeah, so
So
And
our,
you can
our
always pay it
warranty,
off.
yeah, our warranty got, like you said, it's for 10, right? You said 10?
Five.
5?
no, what?
The warranty on the,
Oh, the warranty?
I think we did
on the
five.
Oh,
HVAC system
yeah.
was a 5. As long, like I said, this one, I can't believe it just kaput and that was not the first problem anyway. Well,
So if we did want to go the route, if we take 1.6 from the general fund and we put it into LGIP, it's sort of like just a savings account,
and it's
like I
still getting
said,
interest,
and
even
we
if,
can gain the
even if,
interest.
yeah, it's still getting in,
and we don't need it to operate with.
right?
And that'll help reduce the cost at the end of 10 years. So, and with rates, if they get better, we do really good with interest with LGIP.
Kate, these ones will be coming in, do they have a maintenance schedule where they'll come in at least
Yes.
once a year?
Yes, this is the same.
Yeah, we gotta,
That's why we need this.
yes. Well,
You're gonna learn from,
our mistakes, well,
yeah.
past mistakes anyway,
Mhm.
not ours, but it's ours now.
Yeah, we have to own it.
Yeah.
We gotta own it.
There we go, we gotta
We
own
gotta
it.
fix it.
There we go.
So that being said, I don't know, we can,
Well, I'll make a motion to go the route, like you said, to get the loan over the 10-year period.
yeah,
Invest the 1.6.
Ask Christine what she thinks.
what do you-
Christine, did you hear that conversation?
Yes, I did. Is it appropriate to be discussing paying for the HVAC in an investment committee situation?
yes.
Yes,
It-
according to Kate, it is, she said.
We would need to, if we decide to recommend to invest, we'd have to give you a recommendation, so we'd have to vote on it.
Okay.
Yep.
But, so that's the information I had. We also need to discuss the Wells Fargo client analysis fees. But does anybody have any questions on the investment report, rates, performance,
And the recommendation.
any other discussion?
No,
Tom?
yeah, like I said, the recommendation I made, and that between where it'll go for our vote, me and you, because we'll have to vote on that for the,
Mhm. Yeah,
you know, you can second it or we can. or
well,
it's
let's
gonna
go
get
wait till
tabled.
the, number 6.
All right,
So, because I still have to talk
all right,
about
yes.
the Wells Fargo client analysis fees. So we noticed that we are getting fees from Wells Fargo amounting to $1,000 to $2,000 a month in our main operating account. And so what happened was there was also to make it easy to understand, like an interest rate. It was that was offsetting before, and when the COVID hit and all the Fed rates went down, they took away that that percentage rate went down. So now we're not covering the fees from that sort of interest rate that was helping
Right.
us. So before it was offset, so we didn't ever have it. Now we're seeing it. We've been in talks with Elena from Wells Fargo, and they are looking into possibly creating a new agreement, if they can, and
For government.
for governments.
For government.
And they are going to see if they can get that fee waived. So I wanted to just let you guys be aware of that. If not, I mean, we may need to look into other.
Another bank.
Yeah, so I've reached out to US Bank. I haven't heard
I was gonna
anything
say,
yet, but those are pretty high fees.
but those are the only ones anyway that we're gonna do right there is US and Wells Fargo.
Those are the only ones around now.
Yeah.
The only other banks, we've got TBK Bank here, but
But we're not dealing with TBK no more, are we?
they're
Just the
corporate.
CDs,
Huh?
just the CDs.
Just the CDs. All right.
But when those expire, we can't work with them anymore.
Because they don't,
They won't
Well, we're-
100% collateralize our.
Yes,
our-
or
I
just-
know we have
yes.
to have a bank that does that.
That, yes.
Well, they meet the 50%, but they don't meet our policy of 100%, which follows the Constitution.
There we go. Look at you. Better cut it out, Paul. She's seen it, I've seen it, but I tell you.
So that's pretty much all the discussion I have. Johnny, do you have anything?
The only thing on the balance sheet that you have for the maturity date, I did confirm it. Both of them are 22 on the same day that matures.
2222? Okay,
Great.
thanks.
How many CDs we have with TBK?
Two of them?
Two? And that's
They're right
what,
here.
just those two right there?
Yeah.
So next year, those are set and done?
Yeah, both of them on May 24th on the same day.
All right.
2022, okay.
Thank you, Tony.
All right. So now, let's go into new business, and action may be taken. We need to vote on the best way to fund replacing the HVAC system on the county building. We have, I think, two options. Pay for it right away.
But ultimately, it's going to be up to the commission. You're just giving a recommendation to the commission.
That's correct. We'll be giving a recommendation. We're voting on a recommendation.
Not a recommend, that's fine. I make a
And-
motion that we, go with the loan for 10 years.
I'll second that motion.
And now just
And-
how do we vote? So
So,
Yes.
we say
How do
yay
you- how
and
do you
yay,
vote, Danny?
right? I vote yes.
and I myself vote yes.
There we are.
Thank you.
So now we'll go to announcements. The next regular advisory investment committee will be as voted on in the meeting. Oh, I didn't fix that. It's 3 months from the May 11th date. Let me see. I'll present that on the next finance report.
Yeah, somewhere in August.
Yeah. Okay, and with that, we'll adjourn.
Thank you. Did you catch all that, Christine?